I think with the talent market the way it is today, I think more and more organizations are looking at and understanding they need to do a better job attracting the right talent into their organization, and they are starting to look at other options. I've actually been an RPO for the majority of my career, which I hesitate to say how many years that's been, because I know I look 40, right? I would define RPO as a very strategic partnership with a customer where a client sees talent as a real strategic advantage, one that they understand. They're in X business and recruitment may not be their core competence, and therefore they look to a RPO provider where recruitment is a core competence and know that that will deliver talent into their organization. Oh boy, RPO is not just a cheap way to deliver talent acquisition for an organization. It is it's not an out for the TA or the HR team. And by that I mean it's not just somewhere to place blame, if you will, if things aren't going well. And honestly, things don't always go well. But a true partner is one that works through those challenges with their provider, and ultimately both come out on the back end much better as organizations. No, and many people confuse the two, and they're very different. In an RPO partnership, we have an exclusive relationship with that HR department, with the TA function, and we're ultimately accountable to fill all of the requisitions within that statement of work, if you will. Versus contingency firms are ones that you are one of many trying to fill specific openings. I would say another very significant difference is the fact that with a contingency search, the candidates that are sourced and vetted are candidates of the staffing agency, versus in an RPO partnership, those are candidates are, quote, the client themselves own those candidates. They go into their database. It's very, very different. If a candidate may not even know that we are an outside provider providing the services for the customer in an RPO partnership, because we are going to market as the customer. Now, if they ask, Pam, are you a recruiter with XYZ client? I would then say, oh, I work with, I partner with XYZ client, but the candidate may not know. I would say the first misconception that comes to mind is that it's simply for high volume hourly roles. I think, if I look back, that's really where it started, and that's an organization saw tremendous value there. However, it has really evolved, and an RPO provider can be very successful filling all roles for an organization, exempt level and up as well. I think in addition to the fact that they may not have experience doing it, if organizations, if they don't necessarily, if they look at talent acquisition as a somewhat tactical function, or if they're not thinking real strategically, they then are comfortable with the status quo and always approaching it as they have. I will say, I think with the talent market the way it is today, I think more and more organizations are looking at and understanding they need to do a better job attracting the right talent into their organization, and they are starting to look at other options. How long have I been an RPO? I've actually been an RPO for the majority of my career, which I hesitate to say how many years that's been, because I know I look 40, right? It's been over 25 years, and I was part of an RPO organization before it really had the name RPO, which it's been fun for me to really see the changes in how we operate today versus 25 plus years ago. It was not intended. My story's interesting in that at the time I worked for an agency, a staffing agency, which also had an executive search function, separate department if you will. And we had a situation with a customer that it wasn't a perfect fit for either of those. It was high volume, but they were higher level roles. They weren't hourly and they weren't temporary. And so we knew that we as an organization could do it. So we cobbled together some individuals that to lead the project team, of which I was one. This was very early in my career, and we were able to deliver 250 hires for a customer. They were all direct hire. And after doing that successfully, decided, wow, there could be a business model here. And we really at that time focused on the hourly level roles, because you think about, back in the day, if you were working with an executive search firm or a recruiter on the salaried side, you were courted, if you will. There were expectations as you were going through that process. On the hourly side, how many times did you hear candidates say, oh, I placed an application there, never heard anything? So our philosophy at that time was we were going to bring that same level of service into the hourly hiring realm, and lo and behold, started a business, and the rest is history. What makes me passionate about RPO? We make such an impact with our customers, and we provide such an opportunity for our recruiters. I often say, recruiting within an RPO firm is like recruiting in dog years, because you have access to customers in so many different industries, and you naturally just learn so much and very quickly, and develop very solid skills. So it's the combination of both, knowing that you're making such a difference for your customer while developing the team. For me personally, there's just nothing more. I can't think of anything that would be more satisfying. How have I for the last 25 years, right? In simple terms, I usually start with saying we do recruiting, and then if that resonates with them, which some it does and others it doesn't, I then go on to say, companies, we actually act as the recruitment function for organizations. And I think typically that, that simple statement is one that individuals that aren't in the industry understand, and then, go forth and make their own assumptions around. The team that I have is, they're as passionate about RPO as I am. And so I tell them, we have a all company call once a month, and I always end it, not necessarily intentionally, but let them know they make my job really easy. They're very experienced, very good at what they do. They, in addition to being great recruiters, they have the ability to develop relationships with hiring managers, which is almost equally as important as the actual recruiting of talent. And they just really continue to knock it out of the park. And as I said, they make my job as a leader very easy. If I wasn't doing RPO, first of all, I think I would be lost. And I would hope that I could just be on a beach enjoying life. I really can't if you're asking what other career might I be in, it's hard to imagine, simply because this is what I've done for the majority of my career.
So Pam, complete this sentence. If I wasn't doing RPO, what would I be doing?
Oh boy, I'd be on a beach, ideally. I think the thing I love most about being an active part of the association is just interacting with you, Jason, and Corey's here with us today. And we have the opportunity, while we may compete in the marketplace, I learned so much from my peers in the association, and really do value our time together. Together we make the industry better, and I really, really enjoy that.